All right, let's dive into a problem that, let's be honest, drives us all a little crazy. Who can you actually trust online? Today, we're going to look at a really interesting potential solution called TrustNet AI, a system that's designed to find truth in that endless sea of digital noise.
You know how it is. You type a question into a search bar and bam, you're flooded with results. But how many of them are actually true? Which ones are just ads in disguise? And which ones are, well, just completely wrong? That feeling, that uncertainty is exactly what we're going to unpack.
Okay, so let's get right into the heart of it, the online trust problem. It's not that we don't have enough information. We're drowning in it. The real issue is that finding reliable information is getting harder and harder. We're all forced to become these part-time digital detectives, just trying to find one solid fact.
And this is the big question, isn't it? Who do you trust? That top result, the site that looks super official, or maybe the one that just kind of confirms what you already wanted to believe? It's a total minefield out there, and the stakes are way higher than you might think.
And look, we're not just talking about settling a bet with a friend here. This stuff really matters. We're talking about crucial health advice, major financial decisions, understanding government regulations, and getting the real story during breaking news. For these kinds of searches, getting it right isn't just nice, it's absolutely essential.
This chart really nails the difference. On the left, that's the Wild West we live in now, right? A total jumble of official sites, ads, blogs, and who knows what else. And the burden is all on you to figure it out. But the column on the right, that's the goal. A system where verified info comes first, trust is transparent, and the heavy lifting of fact-checking is done for you. It's all about shifting that burden from you to the tech.
So how do we get from that chaos on the left to the clarity on the right? Well, let's introduce the hero of our story today. This is TrustNet AI, a system that was literally built from the ground up with one thing in mind: reliability.
So what is this thing really? You can think of it like an AI that's your own personal fact-checker. But here's the part that's a real game changer. It doesn't just go find answers. First, it carefully evaluates how trustworthy the sources are before it even thinks about showing you anything. The whole point is safety and transparency from the word go.
And the way it pulls this off is actually pretty cool. Instead of relying on one giant know-it-all AI, TrustNet uses a whole team of specialized AIs, or agents. Each one has a very specific job to do. So let's meet the team.
Probably the easiest way to wrap your head around this is to imagine you have your very own digital research team on standby. You just give them a question, and each member of the team does their part to bring you back an answer that's already been verified and vetted. And here's how that team works together, step by step. First up, you've got the research agent. It goes out and casts a really wide net, grabbing all the potential sources it can find. Then comes the trust evaluator, and this agent is the real MVP of the team. It's like a tough critic, scoring every single source on its reliability. After that, the decision agent acts as the bouncer. It looks at the scores and says, nope, you can't come in. Only the most trustworthy sources get past me. And finally, the synthesizer agent takes that elite, pre-approved information and puts it all together into one simple, clear answer for you.
So why bother with a whole team of AIs? Well, for one, it makes the whole system safer by design because it filters out the junk automatically. It's also super transparent. You can actually see how it came up with its answer. Plus, because it's a team of specialists, it's easy to update one agent without breaking the whole thing, and it can even get creative and adapt its strategy if the first search isn't panning out. Okay, theory's great and all, but let's see how this actually performs in the real world. We're going to run a little demo with a question where you absolutely positively cannot afford to get the wrong answer.
Here's our prompt. This is the perfect example, right? This is a question where you do not want to rely on some random person's advice or an outdated blog post. You need the official rules. End of story. Let's see how TrustNet handles it.
Okay, so the research agent does its thing, and this is what it finds. It's a pretty typical mix, right? You've got two official government sites, which is great, but then you've got a commercial service that's probably trying to sell you something, and of course, a random blog. This is exactly the kind of mess we usually have to sort through all by ourselves.
But this is where the magic happens. We don't have to sort through that mess. Instead, the Trust Evaluator agent steps up to the plate and gets to work on this exact list.
And there it is. Look at this. The AI gives the official government sites a near-perfect score, a 99. The commercial site, meh, it's a 55. And the personal blog, a measly 12. In an instant, the system has separated the good stuff from the noise. It's not even close.
So, based on that crystal clear evaluation, the decision agent makes a really simple but powerful choice. It just completely throws out the low-scoring sources. They're not reliable enough, so they don't get to contribute to the final answer. They're just gone. And this is what you get at the end. A clean, clear, actionable answer compiled by the synthesizer agent. It tells you exactly how to renew, the specific form you need, the correct fee, and the official processing times. All of the facts, none of the fluff. And here is maybe the most important part for actually building confidence in the system. It shows you its work. See that? It tells you plain as day that the answer was created only from those two high-trust government websites. That transparency is everything. You know exactly where the info came from and, just as importantly, why.
Now, that's a pretty powerful demo, but it's really just the tip of the iceberg. So what does a future that's built on this kind of tech actually look like? What does this all go from here? I think the most crucial takeaway here is this. We actually can build AI that prioritizes safety and trust right from the start. It doesn't have to be an afterthought. Building for trust is a design choice, and it's a choice we can make.
And some of the ideas for what's next are genuinely exciting. Think about a trust memory bank that just gets smarter and smarter over time. Or imagine a simple little browser extension that gives you instant trust scores for any site you visit. There's even talk of a community-driven system where we could all chip in to identify good sources. This is way bigger than just a search tool. It's a whole potential ecosystem of trust.
And that leaves us with one final big idea to chew on. Just imagine it for a second. What would our online world feel like if every single search we ever made started not with a wave of uncertainty, but with a solid foundation of trust? It's a powerful thought. Thanks for diving in with me on this one.